Clippity-clop, clickety-top, clickety-pop. Jenny!
What?
Jenny, will you play reindeers with me?
No, you're not a reindeer. Grow up.
Dad, we need more reindeer trees.
Oh, there's still time.
Jenny, we're just popping out for a bit.
Dad, I'm coming.
Here's our reindeer trees.
What about Archie?
Ah, Archie.
You know, Dad, us reindeers like McNuggets too, don't we?
You know what? I think you might be right. But then before the other reindeer get here.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to talk about Christmas for McDonald's this year. I've just realized the irony that we're talking about McDonald's wearing these headsets, which is a bit odd. So I'm one of the creatives at Burnett. I get to write for one of the biggest brands, McDonald's, which is awesome. And this year I was writing the Christmas ad. That is me on a creepy-ass Santa's lap. So when you think of Christmas, you don't automatically think of McDonald's as the classic Christmas fare. But the thing is, it's not that we're not part of the party. In fact, 5 million people a day go through the store doors every single day during the festive period, which is incredible amount of people. So the people are there. But we had a bit of a challenge a few years back on what product you could hang the Christmas hat on for McDonald's. And to be honest, it was only until 2017 that a wonderful team that I work with, Mark and Rob, found a product that we'd never thought of before, and it was staring us in the face. And Mark and Rob came up with this idea. I was trying to find a picture of Mark and Rob, but they don't exist on the internet somehow. So I'm just going to use this one for now. So this is Mark and Rob. Sorry, boys. It's not like this is being live streamed. So Mark and Rob found a product, which is the humble carrot stick. And whereas we see it as the healthy snack that you get in a Happy Meal box, they saw it as the thing that kids leave out on Christmas Eve, along with the mince pies and the brandy. And so, huzzah, reindeer treats were born, I guess is the best term. And they worked on an advert in 2017, directed by James Rouse, and it was this charming tale of the family, and it introduced carrot sticks as the reindeer treats, and this whole campaign, which is, Are You Reindeer Ready? And it was a brilliant success. So much so that in 2018, it being so good that they had to revisit this area. And this time it landed with James and Rob. There are actually loads of photos of James and Rob available. This just seemed fair. So James and Rob, again working with James Rouse, took a more magical theme and had an advert that had the big man himself, Father Christmas, and his very, very hungry reindeer, and reindeer treats were at the central point of it again. And unfortunately, that was a really big success. So in 2019, it landed on my lap to take Reindeer Ready into its third year, which for a burger joint, having carrot sticks at the heart of it seemed incredible, but it's the third year. And I wanted to write this time about something that I could relate to. I think it's easier to find a story that is close to you. And I hoped that this would be relatable to anybody else that has siblings or kids. And I've got a fetish of showing photos of me as a child, somehow. So I grew up with two older sisters, and like when they were in their mid-teens, and I was just a kid, the way that we embraced the magic of Christmas was separated because they had that sort of, they knew the secret about Christmas, and obviously I was still captured in it. So I wanted to take that into this year's theme and sort of touch on the family element that we had from the first year and the magic element of the second year and sort of combine them into what we wrote. So Ellie was born from this, and Ellie's your typical 7-year-old, wide-eyed and goofy teethed, and she's like a bundle of the spirit of Christmas. And all she wants to do is share that joy of Christmas with her elder sister, Jenny. And unfortunately, Jenny is your typical teenager. So she's like this weird mash of hormones and angst, and any magic of Christmas is sort of worn away over the years as you get into that awkward age. So even though in the story I wrote it initially about Ellie, you have this cute reindeer, Archie, who's like a big distraction of the piece, but then you've got Dad, who's kind of an important role, but it's more about Jenny and how she can rediscover the sort of the feeling, the joy of Christmas, and share a moment of make-believe with her younger sister, Ellie. So we wrote the script, and that was like the 25th script, I think, that we wrote for that one. And to really capture or give justice to a 7-year-old's imagination, we wanted to use animation. And once we got to the point where we knew we wanted to do animation, we had to go and present to the clients, who are wonderful, wonderful clients. I'm not just saying that because they're in the crowd. But they were a bit wary at first. It's not the usual go-to for McDonald's, but they fell in love with the script, and it was almost like a bit of a leap of faith. Animation is quite a long process, which the boys will talk to you in detail soon. But yeah, they gave us the go-ahead, and we thumbs up to animation. And I think we had 3 or 4 different animation production houses that came to us for the pitches, but there was one clear winner that just nailed it. They weren't available. Joking. But it was these guys, Against All Odds, Passion Pictures. And when we first started talking to them, they got the story, and I mean, their reel is impeccable. It's beautiful. And I think when we started working with Derek and Nicholas, it was kind of full steam ahead into production.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
you can have that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's making us blush.
Stop it.
It was about 1:30 was the format, and it was quite a heartfelt story. There was a lot of emotion in it, so that takes time on screen. I mean, basically, when we approach these things up front, we need to be collaborative and figure out the basics, which is the story, and get that down as rudimentary as possible before executing it in 3D, which was the ultimate goal. The other thing is it was broken into 2 worlds. So animation was relevant because it is based in Ellie, her imagination. So animation was very relevant. And then it transitions back to live action, again, directed by James Rels.
Yep, 3rd year in a row. Still all right.
When approaching a film, we always do an animatic. That's common fare, but we spend a lot of time, and we basically try to make the whole film in rough drawn 2D. So
I like
everyone.
the way you say rough. I mean, this was beautiful.
Yeah, well, you'll get to see it in a second. But it's a really good tool because you can redraw quickly, and you can try things out, and you can make sure that the story works in the time you have, and you get the impact that you can. And you guys can get to see it, client can get to see it, so we're all on board once we move ahead. And this is where we landed on that one.
Clickety-top, clickety-pop. Jenny!
What?
Jenny, will you play reindeers with me?
No. You're not a reindeer. Grow up.
Come on. Oops.
Yeah, there's still time. Jenny, we're just popping out for a bit.
Dad, I'm coming.
Thank you. 2 bags of reindeer treats.
What about Albie?
Yeah, Albie.
You know, Dad, I think reindeer like to share nuggets too. Don't we?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I think you're right. But then home before the other reindeer get here.
That's your idea of rough drawing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Badass at picture.
Thank you. And Bob's your uncle. So at this stage, we are ready to move on. We got the story, that's all good. So now we have to fill the story with content. And the first thing was characters. It was kind of an interesting process this time around because we need to hook up to real people in the end. And we didn't have the cast when we started the design process, which is a bit unusual.
Yeah.
But we started just to find a general style. So we had a bunch of designers on it, and they started just designing away, different styles, different approaches. And then finally we found the artist that we felt captured a style that we thought we could, felt kind of not too overly cutesy child cartoon, had some sort of grown-up aspects to it, and could translate into recognizable people and the actual cast. And at this point, when we had this beautiful family, we actually got the real cast and the real people, so we could start adapting that style to them, which was great. It's a nice treat to have actual good reference. You can pick up little things.
The little girl, Iris, who plays Ellie.
Yes, she was
looks
fantastic.
like a cartoon. She's got like the sticky out ears and the gappy teeth. And
Yes.
Yeah.
it's perfect.
There's a lot you can work with there.
Yeah, she was almost animated to begin with. And then, so this is the finished sort of 2D style, and then we transformed them into the 3D characters so we could actually get to act in our film. And also, since we had the real actor, we could bring them in and film them and pick up on little facial expressions and make sure that even though she's not, I mean, our animated character is not a caricature of that character, you still have clear sort of cues so you'll recognize them when you go into the live action world. Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's word building.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oops.
So
Word.
it should be world building. So Ellie and her
Not like
family
we haven't rehearsed it.
needed a place to live, and that's always an interesting thing because we really wanted this place to be relatable. I think.
Yeah,
was a
but
word.
whenever we do anything McDonald's, we try and get this British realism into it, and it was quite important for us that the environment was sort of again relatable to the story and to being very sort of British specific.
Really nice
Talking
for us.
to an Australian and a
Quite-
British man.
Yeah, exactly. And quite often our clients want us to be the world to be aspirational and
Catalog
something
house.
Catalog house, exactly. And this time it was completely opposite. Just throw as much crap in there as you can to
Yep.
feel
Lots
like
of
a real house.
butter and-
Yeah. Mess is good.
Yeah, and it's really nice.
So this next slide is sort of an inspiration where we were trying to find a way of adapting those things and stylizing them that meshed well really with the character design and had a sort of crafty feel to it. So we looked at miniatures as inspiration and the sort of details and blemishes and quirks that go into that, and we thought that would be.
There was one point we were actually going to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're hoping to maybe do an actual model build of the sets, but
then we
time did
realized
not
it's
allow
time.
for that.
Time
Yeah.
was against
Yeah.
us. So
So we did the best we could.
we take
It's great. It's great.
yeah.
Fun, man.
We take all that and basically flesh out our environments. And these are sort of key scenes and environments that we paint up, sort of get as much stuff as we can in there to sort of tell the story of this family. And then we take that a step further and try and find the mood, the light, and how that can enhance the story, hit on emotional beats, and also mesh with the live action in the end. So there was a sense of magic we wanted to get into this, and
Even there's a point in the film where Archie, the reindeer, comes in and the colours change very subtly, and like it just lifts the mood because it's in quite a dark place for Ellie at this point.
Yeah.
But it's beautifully done.
Yeah.
Well done, guys.
And even though it's just us sitting up here, we weren't completely alone. This is maybe the
What?
most important slide. This is all the people who actually worked to
Yeah.
realize this film.
So we had a lot of people putting in a lot of hours and a lot of love.
Yes.
And this was our team. I mean, this is just the CG animation team. So there was live action and a lot of
Yeah, there was a lot more.
And a lot of people on your end as well. And
But everyone did an awesome job, and here is the fruits of our labor.
yes,
Clippity clop, clickety top, clickety pop. Jenny!
What?
Jenny, will you play reindeers with me?
No, you're not a reindeer. Grow up.
Dad, we need more reindeer trees.
Oh, there's still time.
Jenny, we're just popping out for a bit.
Dad, I'm coming.
Here's our reindeer trees.
What about Archie?
Ah, Archie.
You know, Dad, us reindeers like McNuggets too. Don't we?
Do you know what? I think you might be right. But then I'll, before the other reindeer get here.
Yeah.